both sitting in the jungle. I'm not so sure EDR doesn't want to get jumped on. That was a really curious walk away, but choosing
I thought
to...
they would have engaged there, seeing him alone. They had the ward to know that Elise wasn't on the backside anymore either. Very interesting.
Yeah, actually starting blue, so with that, both champions, both junglers, setting off for their blue buff to start.
It looks like Team Ocean just wanted to get some information on where Elise was starting. Didn't really fancy trying to pick a fight there, which makes sense because Gragas and Maokai probably don't have the most kill potential at level 1. Obviously, they've got some CC, but they don't have a ton of damage. I think Jarvan could probably just walk away. Maybe he has to base, but they decide just to get the information on where Elise is starting, get Gragas starting in his blue buff safely, and see what they can do from there. Looks like Elise is going to try to vertical jungle here. She probably expects her red buff to be gone based on the 2 people waiting there, so she's going to go take this. It'll be interesting to see if Gragas recognizes that she's not showing up at that ward on red, and decides just to go to that, knowing that she's probably taking hits.
It looks like he has, actually. He is roaming down towards that red side of the jungle, spotted out by the ward. Elise knows what's happening. Engaged in the top lane, though. EDR starting to take damage, cannot fell the mighty tree. Here comes another engage. XTCT getting actually cocooned on, stun up. He's taking the red buff away as well. This is a double buff to Elise. He's trying to finish it off. I'm not sure if he has the damage. It doesn't look like it. He is repelling onto Exodus, but he can't finish off the kill. Even with the last Venomous Bite, he has not managed to finish it. And now Cocoon, Lulu trapping him in, but getting trapped herself. He has a fresh contend with the death sentence. Could spell her demise, and she has to force flash away. Now the Syndra is here as well. The first blood secured by Elise. Suckme takes that one. Bag of Salt flashing forward into the Cocoon, and he goes down as well. DPS Spanky, the only man left alive, and he's blown back in by the Blast Pan to his death. 3 kills to 0.
So this is that early aggression I was talking about from Team Infernal. You've got a lot of abilities to kind of get some picks and get some kills early, and you can force the other team into making decisions. They forced them into a lot of decisions there. Elise comes in. She has Smite. I said it was a Smite fight. It actually wasn't a Smite fight. Oh, we got a hook here in mid, but nothing's happened. Gragas actually had to Smite the blue buff because Gragas doesn't clear that well at level 1. Maokai can't get the greatest leash. So he smites at level 1. Doesn't have Smite for the red buff. Loses that. Elise kind of runs him down, burns his flash. Both bottom lanes collapse, but in terms of mid lane, Syndra was able to collapse before the Xerath was, so they had a number advantage there. They were able to take advantage of it, not only getting 1 kill, but getting 3. So that is a huge lead for them to snowball. You see Elise already getting Moby boots, getting back on the map, refreshing her red buff, and she's probably going to be looking to put some pressure down on one of the solo lanes here.
Yeah, most likely going to be towards this mid lane after all. She does know that the Xerath is very, very vulnerable, doesn't have any mana to spare right now. Yeah, catches the Gragas in jungle, still aggressing, double buffs. Elise, dangerous with that. Another Thresh Roam, another Death Sentence landed, but Shaquille no peel. No mana either. He cannot risk going under turret right now.
Oh, we got the Xerath flashing to try to get the kill, but Syndra just responds with flash as well.
EDR has to flash now. He might be considering that. Does not burn his summoner, but doesn't go down either.
And there, from the Xerath on the Syndra, they gave him the ability to kind of flash and force Syndra to flash or die there. So
slowing in, DPS Spanky now trying his best. Does not actually manage to bring down Jin Fizz, but neither has he managed to burn summoners. They are considering the dive, but realistically, they just can't do it at this point.
So regarding that trade in mid, I do think, despite the fact that I like the aggression there, with both mid laners flashless, that probably advantages Team Infernal. Not only because they're ahead, but because Elise is so good at ganking. You'd probably rather have the flash on your side defensively rather than neither of you having flash offensively. It looks like we might be getting a dive here in the top lane.
Oh, could be. There comes the Elise through the turret. EDR now with the 2-man. Oh, beautiful flash. 0 to hero. Very cognizant of where that spider was. Skitter's behind him. Still can't catch him off guard. And he flashes out of the cocoon and to safety.
Yeah, Elise just looking to kind of come behind there and crash dive with the minions, because Elise is very good at tower diving with her repel, being able to drop tower aggro. But 0 to hero was able to use teleport to kind of keep the wave from crashing into the turret immediately. So Elise kind of had to take aggro a little bit early, and then, as you mentioned, he had that great flash on the cocoon. If that cocoon lands, he's definitely dead, 100%, not close. But he used it at the perfect time to save his life and keep Elise from snowballing even further after that early lead she got.
And both junglers are hovering around this mid lane. Elise making her tracks back up towards top lane. She could go for another one of these fights. She's over a ward though, but already Cataclysm, a 0 to hero, has to throw down the roots. Will he get prison up? It doesn't look like yet. Oh, the CC, the damage! Elise is ready, taking down the monster tree. This is the woodsman we've been waiting for.
And in the mid lane, we had Gragas coming around behind Syndra, trying to get a kill as well. But not nearly as successful as the Cataclysm into Elise DPS up in top lane. So big lead for Team Infernal. As we mentioned, that's what their team comp wants to do. But it's not necessarily over yet. Team Ocean, as we mentioned, they scale a lot better going into the late game. So if they can kind of calm down a little bit, calm their nerves, and maybe elongate this laning phase a little bit, get some farm, not take some of these aggressive fights, they can kind of scale up and get back into this game.
Aggression might not be on the books, but it looks like they have gone for slightly farther up vision control. They do have decent wards in the bot side, decent wards in the top side. But is that enough to ensure that this Gragas can move around freely?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Elise is kind of able to counter gank him on any proactive gank attempts he makes. I don't know that he really wants to be making that many proactive gank attempts. I do like stealing the blue when Elise was not there. If she's on the other side of the map, take your chest piece and move it over there and get what you can. They got some vision there. That ward behind the blue buff to spot out Elise if she's coming to gank bot side. I think Gragas mostly wants to be trying to do counter ganks right now. Instead of trying to proactively gank. I don't think they're going to be getting a whole lot out of proactive opportunities at this moment. But they are going to try to bring 4 down here bottom, so we'll see if they...
Elise as well. 4 versus 3 now.
And Hawkshot's going to spot that out. It looks like they're going to give it up. Elise was down here for the counter gank anyway, and she might still just be fancying a 3v2 here now that they see him back off. Ooh, arrow lands.
That's a big amount of damage. Killing spree. Elise takes another kill, and up top lane, we've got more wet noodles than your average Italian pasta shop in Prep Time. The restaurant still not open for business, though. Nobody has gone down. 0 to hero looking to change that, but forces EDR to flag and drag his way away from that Maokai.
So Ashe, the perfect AD carry for this composition, with all the CC they have with Thresh Hook and Elise Cocoon, just able to initiate with her ult. Makes it very easy to gank her lane post 6. Executed it flawlessly, taking out the Lulu, and they're going to be trying to take this dragon down here. Misfortune might try to steal it with bullet time way too early.
Yeah, it doesn't get the timing there, doesn't get the damage either. EDR might be getting brought down. 0 to hero. Dives, no fear whatsoever. Gets himself a kill, but you were talking about Ashe, you're talking about her being the perfect AD carry for this composition. The pick comp working out brilliantly, and another stun comes in, more damage, more CC, and again Dash in the mid lane lives with a sliver of HP. The shield is enough to ensure his safety.
Yeah, at this point, they kind of have map control. They can kind of just roam around and put CC down and make some picks, as their comp is trying to do. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Thresh get Moby Boots on this buy, just to kind of continue that theme and just run around with Elise and kind of have these roaming death squads here.
Oh, Peel no Peel fancies himself a slice of that Lulu. Not sure if it's going to taste purple or if it's going to taste like death. They've got a lot of members lurking around this corner after all, and the vision still slightly sparse in their own jungle and, in fact, across the map for Infernal Ocean, living up to their name and covering this river with wards.
Yeah, they got some good vision down, and Team Infernal is able to kind of get some camps back from Elise here, getting the Raptors. It looks like Gragas might be going for the Krugs here as well. Elise doesn't clear super fast or super efficiently. She's just a hyper efficient ganker, so she's not going to be sitting in her jungle all day farming.
Oh, flash the cask. And goodbye, Mr. Moonman. They do get out there. Dash now under a little bit of aggression, starting to turn around. They fire arrow again. Death Sends onto the opposite member, and they get both of them locked down and force the flash. They do not have a chance in the world. Both brought down. Elise takes one, Ashe takes the other, and that's 8 kills on the board. The pick composition, ruthless in its efficiency.
So with as far ahead as they are, they were able to get a little bit greedy there. They had been kind of putting all their CC onto one member before, when you saw the Lulu pick, the Cocoon following the arrow just to lock her down while Miss Fortune just has to kind of walk away. They're able to get CC down on both members because they have enough damage to be able to take them both out. So nice job recognizing the fact that they had that lead. They're able to get a little greedy, and they get rewarded for it, and the ability to take down both those members.
Yeah, missing pings. They're looking for people in this jungle. They don't have a lot of vision, but they are still aggressing. Death Sentence. Dash. What the heck, man? He is on a one-man mission to secure these kills so many times. He's
like
been instrumental in them getting a pick.
I like the aggression there, but I don't know that if he landed that they would have been able to get anything off of it. As far behind that tier 2 turret as she was. Hopefully he wouldn't land that, Lee Syndrome in and take that Q.
Well, I'd hope he wouldn't go in, but just to let them know, it's about sending a message.
Yeah.
Right? He's sending a message in this instance.
You gotta let him
something
know.
else. Sending a message is a 4,000 gold lead. Pretty decent at 12 minutes. Oh, yeah. Arcano Pulse's low Syndra. Last one lands even, but the actual escape. Thresh Lantern combined with Stopwatch. That's time to get the heck out of there.
That's where you're supposed to flash your mastery when you're playing Thresh, but I guess if you're off screen and they can't see you anyway, it doesn't matter, but I still would like to see the mastery flash for the stream.
That's the key. You flash your mastery as the Syndras, you're flying out of there. Because you got the stopwatch off in time. It's brilliant.
That's great. Alright, so we
don't actually
securing the scuttle here. What's the timer on Dragon?
Timer on Dragon should be in about 2.5 minutes. It comes up at 2 after all, but right now, very interesting setup. And it seems like, at least, most of this gold has been centered around plays made by Elise Suck Me. Do you think that she's been completely out jungling Exodus, or is just a sense of early game jungler in early game as
it's a little bit of both. So obviously Elise is going to be a much stronger early game jungler than Gragas is, but it's also the way that he's been leveraging the strengths of that champion. Like I said, he plays a lot of Elise. He plays a lot of Lee Sin. Early game champions with a lot of damage and CC in the case of Elise are no mystery to him. He's very proficient on them, and he knows the play patterns for those. He knew Gragas doesn't have the healthiest first invade. He could either go meet him there or just get the free red buff and counter jungle early.
Or catch him mid. Gets the Cocoon. Doesn't pursue further. Maokai roots. Very, very curious. The Ash Arrow misses as well. So many ultimates used. And for what? For no purchase on the land. Right now, though, roaming back up towards topside, they have to scatter from the Xerath. He's doing a lot of poke.
But that said, the Gragas hasn't been playing poorly by any means. After, he had that death in that early skirmish and kind of lost his red buff, he's been doing a good job to keep himself safe, not die to the snowballing Elise, and kind of get back what he could in terms of counter jungling. We might have an engage here.
No, we have a death here. Elise takes another kill, throws Cask, now knocking the Ashe back into turret. One more turret shot should do it. Actually brought away. 1, 2, 3 shots. The third doesn't land. The Thresh survives. The Ashe, fortunately, does not now. And Miss Fortune, with her entrance, she manages to get one. The bullet time is making it rain on the members of Infernal. And here comes Sideways Horizon. They're seeing gray now.
So a little bit aggressive there with that dive onto Lulu. They were taking a ton of damage from that turret, and Team Ocean was able to just kind of turn that. Like I said, they've got a lot of damage and a lot of CC abilities in terms of these straight up 5v5 fights. So, if you're careless as Team Infernal, you can end up throwing some of that shutdown gold and rubber banding XP back to the other team, and maybe throw in your lead.
Yeah, if they did go too aggressive again, they could very well lose their lead. After all, it's shrunken to a mere 2,000 gold, where it was at 4 a scant 3 minutes ago. Now, they have a lot to contend with. What is their next objective? What are they going for as Team Infernal?
So it looks like they're rotating towards this top tier 1 tower here, which I don't disagree with at all. I don't know that Team Ocean really is able to pressure the dragon effectively for you to really worry about that. And even if they can, you might be okay with just trading those straight up anyway. So I like rotating your bottom lane and your jungler up here in the top lane. Just kind of try to brute force this turret. And it looks like we do have Gragas and Lulu up here to answer.
Oh, Gragas CCing the Thresh. He does get one. Elise Suck Me now prisoned in that route. I'm not sure if she's actually going to be brought down. She is very, very fast. Exodus would have to use something bigger, and they actually do flash in, and the route to stop them. Zero to Hero now tanking up turret. He has to turn, he has to run because EDR, he's here, and the Cataclysm is down. They're doing all of the DPS. The members of Ocean are washed away into the sea. So few health bars remaining, and Infernal comes out on top with yet another fight won.
Yeah, it was a really good turn with the teleport in from the Jarvan and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow being used defensively there to kind of buy some time and keep Elise and Ashe safe from the menacing Gragas and Maokai that were bearing down on them. Thresh not so lucky, but they are in the end able to get this turret here. And I think in terms of the next objective, they're probably going to reset and then either try to play around Dragon or the Rift Herald up in top lane. Rift Herald might be useful to try to crack this mid turret since Xerath does have such good wave clear. And they had a lot of trouble trying to crack that earlier, so that might be something they want to prioritize here.
But here comes Dash again. We've seen this so many times before. Death Sentence. It's just a moment away. But fortunately for Sideways this time, does get the stun off, does stop the aggression.
Yeah, Thresh was going for the flay into Hook, and he got hit with the shocking orb there to stun him out. So, good try by the Thresh, but well played by the Xerath as well. We do have Vision coming down here from Team Infernal and Vision Denial between mid lane and the Dragon. So they can potentially put some pressure down where they shove up the mid lane and then kind of go dark and force a face check from Team Ocean if they want to try to contest the Dragon.
Teleport is on Zero to Hero as he shoves in towards the bot side. He has free reign. Free roam, in fact. Oh, ultimate landing onto Lulu. This could be the engage that they want. And they instantly bring her down. EDR taking one, maybe a second, as the Death Sentence pulls the MF sideways. EDR, though, a lot of turret to tank and no health to do it with. He is dispatched forthwith, and now they have to contend with another member, Exodus CT. He is the one chasing them down, and one more ultimate barrage will do it. He's brought down under turret. Oh my gosh, the unrelenting unleashed power brings him to zero as well, and it's a 2-for-2 overall.
I think Team Infernal should have been pretty happy with the pick on Lulu, and then once they got the Misfortune bullet time kind of backed up, you might have heard me mention that EDR was being really manly there. The reason I said that is he was already in the middle of Misfortune's bullet time, and then jumps on top of her with the Cataclysm, just face tanking that bullet time to do that, and he's also jumping onto her under tower and taking tower aggro as well. So I think that was a little bit too aggressive there in trying to pick a fight under the tower against this team that we mentioned has a lot of solid AoE damage as well as CC. I think you just take the pick on Lulu, continue to kind of siege that mid and leverage that vision control you have between mid and Drake and kind of force Team Infernal to make a hard decision as you're posturing towards that Drake. Now the shoe's on the other foot, and Team Ocean actually has the ability to posture on this dragon and deny the vision.
Shoes on the other foot, but right now it looks like Team Ocean don't have two left feet. That distinction given over to the men that forgot their blue suede shoes. It's Infernal getting caught again with CC, forcing Summoner after Summoner out now, and a free Cloud Drake to boot. Pretty good result.
Yeah, they end up losing this Drake here, and like I said, I think it was preventable. I don't know that they necessarily had to give that up if they hadn't gone quite so aggressive in that mid lane. I think some of those actions have some consequences here, but let's see how they kind of rebound from that. This game is still a 3k gold lead for Team Infernal, but based on the scalings of the comps, you might say it's close to even right now. I don't know how much that 3k gold lead really matters when the other team has more of the scaling. So I think it's really anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, 2,500 gold. You know, that's not actually that unreasonable. At 20 minutes, you can definitely overcome that. And the most interesting part for me, at least, is it's a 2,000-ish gold lead with a 7 kill and turret lead. That means that the farm in general is heavily in the favor of Team Ocean at this point. They've got so much gold coming from that farm, but again, Gragas might be going too aggressive. He could be getting caught. Death Sentence. Cocoon is ready. Elise doesn't want to engage, and the cask is actually thrown out. Dash now has to make a run for it. The box will be his method of escape. It will be his doom as well. They wrap him up in it, ship him straight back home to Infernal.
Team Inferno says we're the pick comp now, as they get that pick on the Thresh there. Gragas ultimate, it does a good job at separating somebody from their team and kind of picking them off. But Team Infernal trying to respond with getting mid lane turret here. Zerath says, not my mid turret. Hits him with the Arcane Barrage, kind of forces him back. Again, he's got really good wave clear and the ability to push people off a turret. I wonder if it might not have been better for Team Infernal to take that Rift Herald to try to break this mid tier 1. Because if you break that mid tier 1, the rest of the map really opens up a lot more. You get to push the wards further forward. You get to clear out more vision around both sides of mid lane, entering towards the river, towards those epic monster objectives. It just makes it a lot harder for the other team to move around. And as a pick comp, that's exactly what you want. If they don't have vision and it's harder for them to walk around between their lanes and into the river, then you can CC out of the darkness and kill them out of nowhere. So
Zero to hero. Honestly, I hate to interrupt you, but it looks like he's getting engaged on and not getting killed actually. So much burn, so much time wasted in that sense, because Dash, all the time he's been spending down here, he has been away from his mid lane. However, the MF roam down as well, gave over the turret. That T1 you were talking about, so crucial to get it down. Now it is down. What can they do with it?
Yeah, so like we said, you just want to get the deep vision down around mid lane. You want to control the vision with the sweepers and make sure Team Ocean can't see anything in their jungle or at least approaching the river. Because when you control that, then, like I said, you can kind of wait in a bush and hit them with a Thresh Hook into an Elise Cocoon or whatever it might be, and it makes it so much harder for them to contest those objectives. So we'll see if they can continue to push that ward line up and deny that vision as they try to take these objectives here. Looks like Team Infernal is just content to kind of reset here and get some buys. Jarvan, it looks like, is kind of going a little bit tankier after the Black Cleaver, which is not wholly unexpected. They don't really have a lot of tankiness on their team, so if they want to kind of try to scale a little bit into the mid game, might be a little safer strategy than going the full lethality AD Jarvan build that's very popular.
Yeah, full lethality is definitely not the way I'd want to see EDR going at this point, given how much he has been in the front line and tanking up these members throughout the game so far. After all, he is a significant portion, if not the only portion of their front line as it stands, and when he drops, it's going to be much, much harder for them to be able to stand as they do.
It looks like Team Infernal is trying to get some vision around Baron here, which makes sense as the biggest objective on the map right now. We do have a teleport behind the Baron pit, though. It's like an aggressive engage from Team Ocean.
They tried to catch it with the Maokai, but they couldn't actually manage to make it work, even with the ultimate. That advance, the Grasp, can't find a single member, so they're going to turn back onto the Baron. They know that Jarvan has TP, but having already burned it, they need to make use of this. So
they started. They do it at time. They had positioning after that teleport, but I don't know if they have the damage to take it.
No, absolutely not. Not before the Jarvan gets here. And once the Jarvan gets here, it's all going to break loose. They land Death Sentence. No, it misses. Crystal Arrow does not. And now here comes the J4. EDR is making himself known. But there's a big bullet time raining back through the members of Infernal. And they start to fall to the damage and to the chase. Even with the Arcano Pulses, they can't find the last bit of health on the Elise. But they do land 3. And now they can turn for Baron.
Again, a little over-aggressive from Team Infernal. Once that Death Sentence missed, I think they just needed to back up. That Maokai was kind of holding that choke as really the only thing anyone on Team Infernal could hit, and you're not going to take him down there. And they were just funneling straight in that narrow corridor into the bullet time, and it just eviscerated them. So I think they got a little bit over-aggressive there. At least going for the steal, gets shut down. Really unfortunate. Feels bad, when you're 7-0-5 and having to go for a desperation steal like that and getting shut down. Giving all that shutdown gold and experience. So Team Ocean now in the driver's seat with a 2k gold lead, as well as more turrets left on the map to claim. So we'll see what they can do with this Baron buff and see what kind of power play they can make.
Yeah, they've got a lot of stuff on the map. T2 no longer there. It's gone and done and dusted. But they do have the rest of the T2 turrets and even a T1 bot lane. So many things to take. Dragon, Mountain could be an issue as well. They have Baron, they have time, and there's no vision around it currently for Infernal.
Yeah, so if you're Team Infernal right now, I think you just want to kind of shove this mid lane up and make sure they can't just, go Baron up that giant mid wave there. Try to keep your wave shoved out. I don't know that you aggressively want to try to pursue a fight right now, considering they're probably going to be stronger than you. But it looks like they're gonna sneak this Drake here, and they do it pretty quickly.
Yeah, this should be a pretty quick dragon. Already down. Double Mountain is a good way to get back into this in the later phases of the game. If you break off, get a pick, then you can start shoving down turrets, obviously. But they haven't found many picks recently. It seems like it's going the entire opposite direction for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think they probably want to try to wait out the Baron buff, because it's hard to fight the other team when they have Baron. Not only do they have the increased ability, power, and damage, but if you lose the fight, then it's so easy for them to take a turret with the ability to empower the minions nearby. So I think they want to kind of sit back, kind of defend a little bit. Elise is probably going to have to give up this tier 1 bot and just let this Maokai with the Baron empowered minions take it, and just fall back to their tier 2s.
Tier 2s are basically the last bastion outside the base. Then it becomes a high ground siege. They might be able to finish a Kilo Peel. They do! Bag of Salt! So much damage on this Miss Fortune. Almost one hitting half of the health from that Syndra. Now they have a lot more to contend with. The turret starting to take damage. They're throwing Xerath spell after Xerath spell in a desperate attempt to poke these members out. And Exodus, he is the one to go in, and even with the Cataclysm, Bag of Salt, he should go down, but he will be the only member of his team to lose his life. He doesn't even die there. Oh, the last turret shot does bring him down. Even with Redemption, it comes a second too late. And Zero to Hero had dropped aggro, but they do get the T2. They get 3 kills, and now they're going for Inhibitor turret.
The empowered siege minion obviously is not in range of the turret to take aggro there. So even though he was attacking the turret, Miss Fortune takes the aggro there and dies. A little unlucky there, but they should still be able to get the inhib out of this, and maybe a Thresh for their trouble as well. No, looks like Gragas is going down. And they may not get the inhibitor. Oh, wow. That feels bad, man.
Does feel bad, because now they have to worry about the fact that this inhibitor still up. They've committed so much, lost themselves a Gragas as well on the backside. That's more gold given over in a game that, yes, they are scaling in, but it's really bad to lose these small leads and not get anything for it.
Yeah, I can confirm that Miss Fortune is kicking herself right now for that death, considering if she's alive, not only do they definitely take that inhib, not close, but that Gragas probably lives as well, and I think they get a clean reset there. So that's a little unfortunate for Team Ocean, but we'll see what they can do with the remaining duration on this Baron buff. I think they have a little bit left. No, it has expired. So we'll see where they go from here. I think we still have about 2 minutes on Baron, and we should have a dragon coming up soon as well. But the tier 2s are the next objectives outside of the epic monsters that will be on everyone's sites. And I think Team Infernal is going to have a little bit of a hill to climb up with all the wave clear from Xerath and Gragas and Miss Fortune here. So we'll see if maybe they can find a fight that's advantageous to them to try to get back into this game.
Yeah, and the ways that they get back into this game, you mentioned a couple earlier, right? Taking a pick, taking advantage. It all starts with vision control, and so far they haven't been able to find purchase. They haven't been able to get time to get this vision. Right now, 5 versus 4. You think they probably should be moving in here for some of that.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to get in position to take a fight, but Team Ocean correctly realizes they need to back up, and they do also have that Cloud Drake as well for the little bit extra movement speed when they're not in combat, just kind of back away. We do have an arrow landing, but I don't think there's going to be any engage on that Miss Fortune.
Yeah, the engage is a little bit sparse, to say the least, right? They've missed the death sentence, and then it's at range at least. You have Cocoon left, and you have the Syndra stun. Oh, a little bit of lag there. Very curious, but bot lane Zero to Hero finds himself on the wrong end of the spear one more time. EDR starting it up, but he cannot finish it off. So many times we've seen this Jarvan start the noodle contest and just lose strength halfway through.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense for Team Ocean just kind of rotate here. While you can't just leave the Maokai alone, there's not really anything else for the other rest of the 4 members to take other than maybe pushing down mid. But a mid-bot split isn't really that effective, so it makes sense for them just to kind of rotate down, take this tier 2, and then they were looking to try to pressure the inhib turret, but it looks like they just want to rotate his 5 towards mid, which makes sense considering there's no turret there.
Oh, could be dangerous if they do find themselves in an engage right now. They don't have a turret to fall back to after all, and Zero to Hero, he's looking for a fight. Will he throw the grasp down? He still has it up, still just walking at these members. Unrelentingly
You don't have to take an
healing.
engage. You can just walk up and hit this inhibitor and force the action on Team Infernal.
And they're
They
still
have
not going.
counter engage and disengage as well.
Flash in, body slam, throws the cast, misses it, and Shaquille gets out. Death Sentence does pull the Gragas back in though, but he has so much health, so tanky. 3-4-man knockup, but the Jarvan is done with. They have no way to keep him alive. And now the Nexus turret's starting to be taken. And this could be the game. This could be Team Ocean finishing it. It is 5 members versus 3. What can Infernal do? But watch their base crumble before their eyes. Zero to Hero brought very low, but he is still not down. They have a lot more to do and a lot more to finish. Right now, Syndra, what? Oh, no ultimate. No way. Unleashed power needs to be up to burn down this misfortune. So many shields. Still not wild growth. Not available at all.
They could be rotating down towards bottom, and it looks like they do recognize that now.
Yeah, they have to go for bottom. They're backing off slightly at least.
Inhib, though.
It's getting risky. The Jarvan's up in 6, the Ashe is up in 5. They both have ultimates.
I agree with this. Especially because Baron's on the map, Infernal's on the map. No reason to try to take this fight over aggressively, get wiped to potentially give away one or both of the epic monsters. So play it safe, reset, and just kind of group up S5, and they might just take this dragon before resetting.
Oh, if they do, it could be pretty good.
Infernal might rush the Baron if they're wise to this, but I don't think they are. Oh no, they don't have a ward on it. Sorry, that's Team Infernal that has a ward on it. Yeah, so no real answer that Team Infernal can do there. I would recommend resetting here. It looks like they are. Misfortune is sitting on about 3,000 gold. Zerat's sitting on 2,000. Lulu's sitting on 2,000. So definitely want to spend that. You can have all the gold lead in the world, but if it's unspent gold, then it's not really going to matter. So.
True indeed. 10,000 gold is a pretty good start, though. You know, that gets you halfway to where you want to be. Sideways Horizon locked for by the Maokai. Zero to Hero recognizing that they're going to try and engage, going to try and go sideways. Death Sentence doesn't flan, neither does EDR. They throw the arrow, but again, blocked by Maokai. So many of these abilities just throwing and breaking on the bark of this tree. They can do what they want, but his bite, much, much worse, and they are going to fall. 4 members in an over-aggressive fashion die to the 3 members that were left, and we do have the end of the game. Elise is the only one left alive, and it is going to be GG to Team Ocean, finishing the game in just over 34 minutes.
Yeah, that was really well played from Team Ocean there. They got down early. They recognized their team's win conditions. They played to their outs, so to speak. Played to their team comp and kind of waited it out, got some good disengages and turns on some overly aggressive dives at towers, and they were able to take the victory. So really well played from them. Also, lots of good learning opportunities for both teams. Some mistakes made in the early game from Team Ocean that they can learn on, and then obviously Team Infernal with that lead that they got with their aggressive pick comp. You know, how do you leverage that into closing out the game against a team that scales better than you? You know, they've got that VOD to review with their coach now, so hopefully they can learn some things from that game and put them into practice.
Yeah, it should be a pretty good start, actually. But it looks like that will do it for us for this game. We do have another game coming at you in just a moment. Meow and Cat going to be stepping in for X-Line. I'm going to be returning, though, so stay tuned for that. We've got another game, Diamond and Up, coming right after this.
Pull me close and you say you'll never run away. They think that love is a game and that we've gone insane. But what we have is what one spends a lifetime searching for. With you I feel amazing, never felt before. Why would I be so ashamed? Found love with fighting for. I'm standing right at the gates, walking your stairway to heaven.
All right, everybody, and this is us. We're back. It's Learning Fives presenting the Rise of the Summoners. It is our Diamond and Up match, the last one of NA, unfortunately. But fortunately, we've got more tomorrow if you're interested. But for right now, we're back. Of course, if you don't know me, I am Zeta. Joining me, Meowing Cat, the legendary Diamond Sona main in the mid lane. How are you doing, my friend?
It's actually Janna support main now, but yeah, we'll go with that one.
Same. Well, he's back, and he's going to help me break down this because he's actually much better than I am, despite the fact that he's playing E-Girl Champions. He's got John, he got some Jhin, some Caitlyn, some Karma Band, and then GP Akali Ornn with a Gnar pick. How you feeling this one?
Yeah, so... Oh god, I almost choked somehow on nothing. Hopefully these players don't choke, but... So, we have the players go through pro draft beforehand, so everyone's just picking their champions in their roles. So, you know, we didn't have a first pick Gnar blind. Luckily, that's not actually what happened. But Gnar into Shen, so... Was it actually blind picked? We can verify that. It was blind picked.
No, it was the last pick Gnar.
It was...
Yeah,
was
blind pick
counterpicked by
Gnar,
the
so it
Shen.
was countered by Shen, yes.
Yeah. So that is a pretty decent matchup for the Shen because he can block all of those Gnar's auto attacks. But when that Spirit's Refuge is on cooldown, that Shen W, that means that Gnar can just really press into that Shen and bully him out. So it's really just how Bricken plays around that cooldown that's going to dictate this top lane matchup.
Yeah, if he plays it really well, I mean, he could obviously make a name for himself. Got a, a big task ahead. Maokai banned out, though. How you feeling about the Maokai ban when Shen's already the one picked?
Oh, well, that was banned beforehand. It was a last pick Shen. Pro draft is... Right.
So
Yeah.
they banned the Maokai in the rotation that they would have picked the Shen and Maokai in.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I mean, Maokai is a decent matchup for Gnar. I don't know why they would ban it if they were planning on picking the Gnar anyways. Maybe Shade Hendrix is just really proficient on the Maokai, and Bricken just wasn't wanting to play into it. But either way, a bit of an interesting decision because, Shen is much easier to play into Gnar than Maokai, in my opinion at least.
True. I mean, at least, then you get quite a bit of health to chew through, and you don't have to worry about him canceling out autos, and he's got, less damage. In fact,
Yeah.
Shen is quite scary at points, but mid lane, right? Anti's got Azir into the Syndra.
Yeah, so Azir here, he's against a very risky composition. With the Shen, Kha'Zix, Syndra, Twitch, there's a lot of stuff he needs to watch out for. If this Azir makes a misstep, it's a lot harder for him and the Janna. Janna too is going to be a target they're going to look for. It's a lot harder for him and Janna to get away than Xayah. So those two targets are going to be just walking around with a red X above their head, just everyone looking for them.
Yeah, the red X could also be a red X of isolation, might be a little bit
And
dangerous.
if someone
in that
is
sense.
isolated, if Azir does not have ulti, or if anyone doesn't have their ulti, they're very, very prone to getting killed by that Kha'Zix because that isolation damage with the follow-up damage of a Syndra or a Twitch is just going to be way too much for anyone to handle.
Oh, maybe actually might not be that much to handle. They've got a little bit to themselves.
They
They
have answers.
have some answers, but is it I'm going to take a step back. I'm not going to ask about the specifics. I'm going to ask
Okay.
holistically, right? You said it was a risky composition. Is it risky enough that you'd say this is going to be hard to pull off, or do you think that they still could make it happen?
Well, it's actually risky for Baron's side. Elder has a very kind of safe composition, while if you look at Baron, they have a lot of, assassination 100-0 pick potential. If they can't find those picks with the Syndra Twitch Kha'Zix, then you got an Azir who's just going to be sieging you in. You have double ranged with the Xayah Gnar to follow that up. And then Janna too, who's pretty decent at sieging herself.
A lot of siege then, That's pretty good, to say the least, right?
Yeah.
If that-
And you have the split push in the top lane in favor of that Gnar, unless Shen somehow gets ridiculously fed, which could potentially happen. It's one of the better matchups against the Gnar, in my opinion.
Really? So, if it's one of the better matchups, do you think Zora's going to have to spend a lot of times towards this top half of the map shoring up Birkin's Gnar?
It's more like they need to make sure TE doesn't come top lane and then just get a lot of kills off of Bricken, because if Kha'Zix and Shen get fed at the same time, that's going to mean that Shade Hendrix is actually going to have the split push priority, and that TE is just going to be a disgusting monster on Kha'Zix, just two-shotting everyone else.
Sorry, I was just checking something real quick. We are indeed on schedule, so we're going to get into game in just a short bit. But if I have to ask you to nail down your predictions, right? 40 seconds left.
Right.
Which team do you think is going to take this just based on composition alone?
I'm leaning towards Elder, although Baron definitely has their win conditions that they can play towards.
Okay. So we've got Meowcat picking Elder for this one, but Baron, they've got win conditions, they've got Twitch, they've got Syndra, they've even got a Kha'Zix. They might be able to pull it out. We'll see in just a little bit as we start to load onto the Rift for our Diamond and Up match in Rise of the Summoner NA.
You got to look, you got to look, that's me, yeah. And keep the fires burning, baby. Keep the fires burning, baby. You got to look, you got to look, that's me, yeah. And keep the fires burning, baby. You keep the fire burning, make it hot. We set the place on. Keep my fire burning, make it hot.
Alright guys, we are finally back and onto the Rift for the last game of tonight. We've got on the blue side for Team Baron, if I am not mistaken, Team Elder. Excuse me, there's so many different camps, there's so many different games. Team Elder on the blue side, Birkin in the top lane, Zoro in the jungle, Antigone in the mid lane, Dubarito at 80 carry, Starsail at support.
Yeah, and looking for an invade, we have Team Baron with Shade Hendrix in the top side, TE in the jungle, Shade Pride in the mid lane, Habibi Poppy and 80 carry, and Jay the Cat in support.
Jay the Cat, interesting
A fellow
name.
cat support.
And I think Meowing identifies with him on a spiritual level. to
You
say the
know,
least,
I
you know?
actually identify with Star Sail. I see that Janna tag. Fellow
He sees the
Janna
Janna.
enthusiast. Yeah.
He sees the Janna. He likes the Janna. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's a
and
little
so
wink, wink,
in
nudge,
this
nudge.
matchup, I want to touch on this bot lane matchup. Braum can do a lot against Xayah Janna. Not to play that down at all, but they have a very large amount of pressure that they can apply, which you wouldn't really expect from this bot lane. You look at it and you say, oh, it's a fairly safe bot lane, Xayah Janna. But the amount of kill pressure that Janna has if she maxes W is going to be really high. I don't know if they're going to be able to kill the Braum, but they can definitely look towards that Twitch in these early levels.
Yeah, maybe they could find some purchase on picking out the Twitch. It's, possible that they could bring him down. He'd be Poppy. Could overstep. He could get poked down, poked out. It's, after all, Xayah, very aggressive, very good. But Rakan, if I remember correctly, was not banned. Is he just not that great in the current meta?
Rakan is an okay champion, but against an Azir, were you talking from Starfall or Star Sail?
From Star Sail, yes.
Janna main plays Janna.
Okay, fair enough.
That's pretty much what he's doing.
Janna main plays Janna. That is, truer words have never been said. That's like saying, Yasuo main feeds everybody, right?
Oh shoot!
It's just a rule of League of Legends. If it's a Janna main, it will play Janna. But
those are some shots being taken.
They miss, mostly like the Yasuo's KDAs. But that's besides the point,
Ooh,
What we're talking about now is we're talking about the fact that this Sejuani has already made her way over towards the Scuttle, possibly going to invade after that, and Tigi is still clearing out his second camp. So,
yeah, I want to see how this top lane plays out, because right here, like the taunt like this on Bricken, if Shen keeps on taking these kinds of trades with his passive up, that key barrier or chi barrier, it's KI.
Key. It is key.
Okay. Just making sure. Don't want to
You're fine. Don't worry.
trigger anyone. If he has his abilities up on rotation, he can take very, very good trades against the Gnar. And that's when Kha'Zix can come up and get kill pressure. So we have to keep a close eye on that health bar of the Gnar.
Yeah, get some kill pressure, get some, gold to his name, get some aggression, actually. But here comes Zoro trying to support Birkin. Might be able to get it in time. Not sure if Shade knows that there's a Sejuani in bush. Definitely doesn't. Bricken? I'm getting word that his name is Bricken instead of Birkin. Well,
yeah,
sure.
There's an R. Oh, but look at this. No R here because he's only level 4. What?
Oh, jumps into turret, takes a lot of damage. Might have an R, might have an eye patch over half of it, but besides
it's
the
an R
point,
and then an IP, yeah.
RIP is where the R is presently. TE lurking in the jungle. They're going to need a big can of raid to keep this Kha'Zix off, but he's still not aggressing. He still hasn't gone for a gank yet, and he's already 4 minutes in.
Yeah, but look at again, I mentioned this top lane is going to be a kind of lane where it's all on Shade Hendricks to be making that aggressive play on rotation. It's not incredibly mechanically intense playing Shen, but you have to play it smart. You have to do it right. And he made a little misplay. He used his W after he used his Q. Oh, sorry. He Q EW'd, and his W was too far away from him, so he wasn't in that Spirit's Refuge, which caused him to take an extra 200 damage in a trade, which doesn't sound like much. But if he was full health right now, this Shen could be bullying this Gnar out of lane. So every little thing counts, and Shade Hendricks already made a slight misplay on that Shen when you have to do everything right.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, continue to play extremely well, as you said, he could find himself on the wrong side of the Gnar when he gets 6, gets the Gnar, and the transform especially is so much damage and so much CC in a row. He does have to be very careful of that.
Yeah, we are going to want to keep an eye on these solo laners. As they start hitting level 6, they're about halfway in both lanes, top and mid. Shade Hendricks not having the R go all the way there.
Yeah.
E, sorry.
Taunt doesn't actually connect in that sense, and Mega Gnar appears to have bugged out my scoreboard. He is now black as his icon, so that is there is no Gnar. He is off the map. We'll see if he gets off the map. Or not.
Here it is.
Aggression, first blood. Oh my, the Shen. We're talking about base damage, we're talking about kill potential. That's where he makes it happen.
Yeah, and this is insanely important. This is gonna dictate the late game, or the mid through, possibly early late game. When this Gnar has fallen so far behind that the Shen has kill pressure, that means that they have the top lane priority on the side of Baron, which, you think, okay, Gnar is a great split pusher, right? He has range advantage. He's really safe. This Shen is now going to be able to just take lane dominance and just have control and influence across the whole map.
Yeah, and with that being said, I mean, him having global pressure, we'd expect to have seen maybe a little bit more of Zoro trying to wrest that from him, but now Habibi Poppy's going to engage. A lot of damage, has a bit more than he can chew, actually. Exhaust down onto both of them. Now Dub Burrito has to start backing off. He's getting Braum smacked in the face, and he has to kite the heck away. Habibi Poppy doing much the same on the other side, but Starsail and Jay the Cat still actually dueling, looking for that last bit of damage. Taunt lands, Birkin jumping out again. Shade Hendricks, the Shen, is the one to rule this lane currently. Shade Pride still up levels on Antigone, and Zoro nowhere to be found. Both junglers very quiet so far this game.
Yeah, and I want to touch on something a little bit. Keystones for these champions. So Gnar went for press the attack, and I'm not a giant fan of what you're supposed to take on Gnar, but Gnar normally runs Airy, which I hate it, but it's what you're supposed to do. And especially against a Shen who can block auto attacks, press the attack is just very inefficient. So that's an extra thing that's just making this lane even easier for the Shen.
Yeah, and if it's making it easier for the Shen, then that's definitely something that Shade Hendricks is loving, He's got so much more health as a result. Press the attack. It's hard to proc normally when you're playing on Gnar, and it's extremely hard to proc when there's a Spirit's Refuge in your way every 5 seconds.
Yeah, and another person who, again, took press the attack that I don't necessarily agree with is Xayah. Oh, that's going to be on hold. There's Birkin in the top lane.
Oh, he's getting sorted down. Now has to be very careful. His health bar dangerously low at this point. One taunt will finish him off. Will Shade Hendricks land it? Surely with the help of TE, he will get it. He actually is going to feed it over to his jungler. Donate to Kha'Zix.
That is really generous and very good from Shade Hendricks.
Yeah, he knows that the Kha'Zix is gonna matter.
Yeah, he's playing for his team, and he's doing it flawlessly so far. I mean, besides the one little hiccup in laning phase, which he recovered from, this Shen has been just utterly beautiful. It is magnificent. I'm very, very happy with the play that we're seeing out of Shade Hendricks here. I mean, so far, I've been saying his name a lot, but that's because he's a player to watch right now. It's all on the Shen.
Yeah, and it's hard to, say that anything else is the main focus because he's just making so many plays. Look at this. He's already down in towards this blue buff. He's invading further, and now he lands a 2-man taunt. They're getting caught again. Birkin dodges barely over that orb, scattered by Syndra, but he is not weak and he is not caught out yet. Still, though, another blue buff stolen, another engage, and another dive into this jungle. A very aggressive Baron side, and Elder, what can they do to respond?
Yeah, so right now, it's just completely, momentum in the side of Baron. Elder needs to be looking for something to get one of these bottom side lanes ahead, either the Azir or the Januzaj. If Twitch gets ahead, or if Syndra gets ahead, and they have that priority on the Shen, this game is just going to swing completely over to Baron. So they need to be safe while they do this, but they need to get a lead in one of these lanes.
Yeah, and mid lane, up 20 CS, right? That's already a pretty decent lead to see. And when you consider the fact that Azir can still be zoned out by this Syndra, he has to be careful at all points in the game or else this could happen, right? He's going in, stream a shuffle, back towards the turret, Shade Pride flashes out. Now, no mana left on Antigone, though. He has to start walking away because if he doesn't, he's just gonna get powered through. And even though they've laced the entire 5-ball combo, it is not enough to bring him down. Shade Pride will have to be given the consolation prize of turret at this rate.
Yeah, that was it wasn't horrible for either mid laner, although Shade Pride does get an extra CS advantage out of that. So there's a definite gold lead, 500 gold in favor of Shade Pride. So, oh gosh, it's a lot at this stage of the game.
Oh, that's so much damage still in the top lane. We're talking about this Shen and the power, the assault, right? Where he gets this Spirit Blade that just does percent health. I'm not really sure if I'm cool with it. You know, he's just getting so much magic damage bonus on every auto attack that he throws. And it's really hard to stop. You know, just like the Kha'Zix taking early dragons, you have to plan for it, you have to play around it, and you have to know mechanically exactly how to beat it. And so far, we haven't seen that combination yet. Good block from Jay the Cat, still now turning with the exhaust. Maybe they can make it happen. Habibi Poppy is there. Shen ultimate has come down as well. Spray and pray, Kha'Zix, everyone is here, and it's all about to turn around. Dubburrito flashing with the Ren. The feathers come back through, and they get one. But they trade Birkin out. The teleport has gone amiss, and the Shen still has his safely secure.
Yeah, not a great TP from Bricken there. Dubburrito making a really good play, flashing over, getting all those feathers onto T, saves the fight. But again, Bricken on this Gnar has not been performing amazingly. It seems very uncomfortable on this champion.
Oh, might be a little bit scary at this point, right? The Azir is, you know, dropped down to 30 CS below. The Gnar is 10 CS and a kill. It's the gold beads are starting to mount in all of these lanes, 600 to 800 gold, and I'm not so sure as of this moment, you know, that Team Elder has got the early game at least anywhere near comebackable right now.
Yeah, and I really wish that Dubburrito took Fleet Footwork on that Xayah. It would allow him to play a lot more aggressively and have the lane dominance that they need in this matchup. I mean, the press the attack isn't horrible, but it did get nerfed pretty hard, and all the other ones got buffed a lot. And I really think that Fleet Footwork here, that movement speed burst and that extra sustain would mean that Dubburrito could just stay topped off and just play aggressively constantly. If he gets a bad trade, he can just sustain up, you know, wait a little while, Fleet Footwork and his, you know, Doran's Blade gonna heal him up a little bit, and then go back in, rinse, repeat. They'd win that eventually. But with press the attack, you know, you need to get that all in, and so far they have not been getting it.
Yeah, all-ins they're hard to find, especially when you have to contend with the fact that there's, you know, engage CC coming out of both sides. When you get an all-in, right, and then Xayah flashes and just rends through you with the feathers. She rips them and annihilates your entire health bar. As the Kha'Zix, you got to thinking, okay, I can't do that again, but I am supposed to assassinate the backline, so we're gonna have to blow her flash. We're gonna have to set that up a second time, and can they do it again? I'm not so sure, but Bricken is thrown to the Kha'Zix. The raid can is not present, and he goes down. The bug squashes him instead. Oh, Shade Pride. 1 ultimate, 2 ultimates, 3 ultimates, 4. Shade Pride begins to hit the floor. They get another kill, the second for them, and this one goes actually over to the Sejuani. Not as generous in that sense. Antigone would very much have liked to have that, but they still do start to aggress into the turret, and with the attack speed on the Azir, they should be able to get it.
Yeah, this turret's gonna get chunked down, but it does not look like they'll be able to finish it off. Azir not super high damage to turrets until he has a decent chunk of AP to follow up with that attack speed. And again, Sejuani just not gonna have any damage really ever, just providing CC and tankiness, so... Tower's probably gonna be able to live here, and if they get aggressive, oh my, Shade is coming in.
Oh, good engage, good damage. Shade Hendricks, so much playing around him, and the Shen shows why it's possible. He's got the damage, he's got the moves, he's got the kills. Zoro goes down, and now, again, the Kha'Zix is getting fed. The shovel is in motion, and he is just consuming this gold. Maybe he'll be able to convert it into more kills soon, but Habibi Poppy starting again with this engage. Braum ultimate comes down, a big fissure, but the Janna knocks them back. One root is not enough for now. They do have a bit of damage. Contaminate catches her on the backside, but still not bringing down Starsail either. So they have to wait, have to bide their time as Shade Pride starts to shove in mid. Azir is here, but so is Kha'Zix.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see how Shade is gonna do to recover from this lane. Now that it's equaled out a little bit, as you're getting some assist gold, the gold lead's only 500, which was the same as it was before. But if you look at the CS lead, you know, obviously Shade has been CSing better. So since they have the percentage gap closed, because they both maintain that 500 gold difference, the percentage gap is closed, so it's a little bit closer, actually. For, how did he say his name?
Antigone.
Is that how it's pronounced?
That is how I was told to
That is-
pronounce it.
Yeah, that's
How I was told to
That sounds
pronounce
right. It sounds right.
So we
So-
are going to go with that. Beside
Yeah.
the point.
Antigone is keeping up. He's been making sure the lead isn't getting any larger, which is good. It's good. He's stabilizing. This means that Azir can maybe work his way back into winning this lane, which is what they desperately need. I mean, that Azir needs to get rolling. He needs to grab some shredding items, and he needs to destroy people, because so far it is not looking great with that 3-1 Kha'Zix and the 104 Shen.
Oh, that's a pretty good start, to say the least. You know, he's got a lot of gold. He's got a lot of farm. He's got lethality coming up soon. Should be on this back. Yeah, he has 2,100 gold. So he's going to get that as well. Not going to be able to finish off the Duskblade, but soon he will be able to have that in his possession. When he does, he'll become an unstoppable monster, I think. But for now, at least, they do have to restrain themselves slightly. And with restraint comes learning. With learning comes planning. And planning they should do is, what's the next objective on the table? What can Baron get that they haven't already set up for?
Yeah. So Baron right now is just going to want to make sure that they're pressuring as much as possible, getting that vision control set down, and looking for this Infernal Drake. They have a Shen in the top lane who has double ways to get there, the teleport and the Stand United. So if they can somehow bait out Bricken's teleport and use, you know, the Shen ulti or TP, and then just cancel the fight after that, that gives them an insane advantage. Or they just get a dragon for free.
Oh, dragon for free is that's pretty good, you know, especially when it's an infernal. Second dragon of the game. Mountain was the first, Infernal's the second, and when you have the lead, it's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, there's a pretty decent amount of, you know, gold in every single lane for the side of Elder, or Baron, sorry. The only thing they need to watch out for is Zoro right here.
Oh, might be able to catch something out. They still haven't given Zoro many opportunities. You know, he's been looking for ganks recently, but he hasn't found himself anything. Although, look at the mid lane, 3-man collapse. The Azir could be finding some damage, Oh, he's in trouble now. Flashing out is Antigone. Now, Shade Pride still pursuing, but he does not blow ultimate. 2 turrets under fire. The mid T1 goes down, the bottom T1 shortly to follow, but Jay the Cat, he sets it up. Habibi Poppy now has the Shen TPing on top of him, and they're gonna start it all off with the Xayah. He goes into the Feather Recall, but he cannot find the kill. In fact, he's brought down in the eye of the storm. Ti takes another one, and he is on a killing spree. 7-2 is the kill score, and the turret didn't even fall.
Yeah, this is just going downhill very fast. There is currently a 5,000 gold lead, 4,000 in favor of Baron, and I mean, if they're able to defend those towers that are getting really low, that's, you know, a lot of gold that they're denying for now. It doesn't look like Bricken's gonna get this tower. They get a bottom tower, actually, and if Bricken gets over aggressive, he can get taken out too. Oh, wait, they can maybe collapse here on Shade Pride.
It's possible, actually, with Bricken from the backside. He misses the boomerang and dodges the taunt out. He's still trying his best, gonna get the ultimate slam into wall. That is a dead Syndra, but can they get more? Ti has already come in. Antigone shoves him off, but even with that being said, Antigone should be still dropping to the Shen, and he does fall over. Ti, now stunned, is the one that's going to fall. Bricken takes 2, and they're going to look for Shade Hendricks, but they don't have the damage. They don't have the CC
want to
to
keep doing
stop
this
him.
because their ball lane is coming.
Yeah, here comes the Shen. Oh, Twitch and Braum from behind
he's just
as
doing
well.
it by
Bricken-
himself.
Shade Hendricks 1v2. He doesn't even need their help. He's throwing it all down. The gauntlet has been set, and he answers the call to action that he himself postured. He is the one-man army. Shade Hendricks on this Shen is now going to change his name to Shen Hendricks. He is the second coming of the top lane.
Yeah, I mentioned a lot this early game. It is all on if a bot laner can get a lead, or if Shade Hendricks on the Shen is going to be able to actually bully out Bricken. What happened? Immediately starts smashing that Gnar in the lane. Shade Hendrix has just shown he knows what to do in this matchup. And this was a very good counter pick by him. I mean, now he has the Titanic Hydra. He can easily 1v1 the Gnar, if not even potentially 1v2 as we just saw.
Yeah, and 1v2 is actually not a bad situation to say the least. They have a lot to contend with, a lot of things to put at him, but he's still pushing through, right? He just 1v2'd right there against a Gnar and a Sejuani, and if he can do that, right, the two tankiest members of the team, he can rip through the rest of them with no problem.
Yeah, and right now it's just on full-on, you know, answer mode. How do we deal with this Shen? We see the Azir starting to build towards a Liandry's. That is a good answer. That will add some magic damage, which this Shen is just stacking armor. So this Azir is gonna be the answer to shred that Shen. If he can get to that item point though, before Shen just wins the game, we don't know, as Bricken in the bot lane.
No, gets some damage, but he doesn't actually find himself a real kill on this side. He's lurked for a bit, not managed to get it done. Oh, stun from Zoro doesn't land. Still looking for this engage, but the members of Baron are just, they're spreading out really well. They're taking engages, they're pushing waves in, and then trying to go for an objective. If it doesn't work, they rotate to another lane, repeat, and rinse their hands off. Oh, Starsail might be going down. TE, he doesn't actually get the kill. Now he does, and he jumps back out. The reset is on, and the chase is gone. He does not get brought down for his... And that aggression, that kind of a pick, is so hard to come by and so hard to stop.
Yeah, Starsail not exhausting the Kha'Zix in time, and none of this hard CC connecting besides the Monsoon, which only delayed it. Not long enough to save himself, so... Unfortunate that Kha'Zix just gets that for free and gets out. Oh, he's not getting out this time. He's not getting out this time.
I don't think he's getting out at all. He might be the one that just, you know, stepped a bit too far, to say the least. Either that or they brought their bug stomping shoes, but he does get brought down for his hubris, and now it looks like they might have a chance. Elder setting up for this mid turret could be bringing down their second turret of the game and shortening this gold lead by a little bit, now up to 5,000 of it.
Yeah, and that's a very important thing, because that's going to allow this mid tower to go down unless there is a crazy play. This mid tower is going to go down, and potentially this top tower might go down. There's an air drake spawning in 10 seconds. We're going to have to see if either team wants to go for it. It isn't too valuable for either side. Although it does help Twitch Shen engage, so Twitch Shen Kha'Zix, it definitely is more beneficial for the side of Baron.
But do Baron want the Baron, or do Baron want the Drake? That's the question. Because Baron with Baron is a really strong team. Baron with Drake is a slightly stronger team, but it's not as strong as Baron with Baron, right?
What we need to look for is Drake with Baron, because it's gonna be hard for Baron to clear the Baron out if Drake gets Baron.
Absolutely, and if
Should
Drake
start
goes
saying
for
Team Drake or Team Baron at this
no,
point.
no, no. If Baron goes for Dragon, while Elder goes for Baron, then they could end up in a situation where a Baroned up Elder takes down the Dragoned up Baron, and that would be amazing.
Exactly. Okay, but Team
For those of you who
Baron
didn't follow
is
anything that we just said, no worries. I didn't really either, but that's besides the point. Now they set up for the Baron on the side of Team Baron, and they have complete control over this pit. I mean, there's absolutely no vision whatsoever from Team Elder.
Yeah, it's a dark map, and that's making it. It's got to be making them nervous. I mean,
They don't know. They couldn't know if they were on it right now. They would have absolutely no idea.
yeah. All they really want to do right now is get Bricken to waste his TP, or just to get a free split push for Shade Hendrix. They don't need to really force. They have this top lane advantage, and if they play it right, it can basically guarantee a 4v5 or just free split push.
Still looking for that purchase, you know. The Shade. Consuming the Gnar one more time, I think, would probably spell Baron or at least a turret, because they wouldn't secede control over the pit. And right now, there's just no way to sustain the split push, right? Bricken's up here. He has no visions. They're collapsing again. The Twitch and Kha'Zix are both coming down.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see. It looks like they're gonna get the full surround on Bricken.
Yeah, now he jumps forward. Now he's starting to get slowed up. Even with the ultimate popping soon, he's still going to go down, and Habibi Poppy takes that one for himself. 3-0 and 1 on the
They
Twitch.
leave the Baron open. This could be a snap Baron play by Elder.
They have to go for it. They have to make this call. They have to start it up right here, right now. Douburrito, Antigone, Zoro, they're the ones tasked with bringing this down. They actually start the turn. Shen is TPing in Jay the Cat. He's already got his ultimate down, and he's thrown the shield as well. He's still alive, and so are the rest of members of Elder. They have to be out, though, because the Kha'Zix is wrapping in on the backside of this fight. Starsail is going to go down.
He
doesn't
go
even
really
know what's
sour.
coming. Douburrito actually exhaust. Here is the Kha'Zix, and there he goes up the other side. 1 in, 1 out. Shen, what can he do? They actually do taunt stun up Zoro, but they only get 1 kill for this now, though. They could turn back for the Baron.
Yeah, Team Baron with their eyes set on that Baron. Habibi Poppy full health. Everyone full or half health means that Honey Fruit's going to be enough to heal them up. This should be a pretty easy Baron call for them. As Jungler is down, Zoro with the smite not there.
Oh. Yeah, he's not going to be able to contest at all Antigone. He wants a piece of the Baron. He doesn't want to give his life up for it. And at 27 minutes, our first Baron of the game is secured. The gold lead, 7,000. And so far, I've got to say, I've been very impressed by Baron. But what can Elder do to get back in this game?
Yeah, so Team Elder just need this Azir and this Xayah to start pumping out damage. But the problem with that is that Braum has his E to block those auto attacks, and the soldiers can't go too far in. And then Shen has the Spirit's Refuge to block the Xayah damage. Now, Azir soldiers can auto through Spirit's Refuge, I believe.
Yes.
So, this Azir can kill the Shen, and if Braum does not have his E, and he can get the soldiers in a good position, he can definitely get a lot of damage out. But this front line from, Team Baron, we thought was not going to be too strong. It's only a Braum and a Shen, but with how much health, how much gold they've been getting from objectives, from the kills on that Shen, they are just too tanky to deal with. I mean, they can just eat all the Sejuani ults, eat all that damage with that Braum E, just soak it up, just inside of the Braum, just throw it at him. He loves it. He's digging this. I mean, it is his jam. Oh. But yeah, this is getting really scary really fast. And just the icing on the cake, Syndra took Transcendence, so she's going to have an extra 10% CDR on that right now.
And she's going to have a lot of damage to boot. They do shove Zoro off the turret. And Baron, they take a T2 with their Baron buff. They should be able to rotate bot, take another one. What objective is off the table at this point? Doesn't feel like any of them are, and they're still pursuing in. They're still stunning people up and just riding with impunity into this jungle. They don't have a care in the world.
Yeah, they're just going to get this bottom tower for free. They're going to want to push this in and look for that inhib. They don't necessarily need Shade Hendricks here, and he could back and go topside, get that split push going. Shen is oh so strong at it, and they're kind
You
of
could
just
TP
stacking.
top right now.
Yeah,
I mean-
he'd still have his ulti to go back in. It looks like his team is going to be leaving him and actually going up to the top side, which is a bit interesting considering that Baron is up Baron is up later than this Earth Drake that is spawning. So, ideally, have Shade Hendricks in the top side and have the rest of your team in the bottom side, and then execute a 104 split push, and then just have the mid priority so you can rotate there if they're just stalling out bot lane too hard.
Yeah, the 1-4 split would be the ideal situation, but now TE sets up for the Shen. They're coming in again. Bricken is brought down. He is nowhere to be seen on the map. The Gnar again gets caught, and this Shen combo on top of the Kha'Zix has been so deadly all game long.
Honestly, why split push properly when you can just win, right?
Absolutely.
It's not
Get
wrong
the
of
first
them.
one.
They found an advantage
turret.
and they're pushing it. Free kill on Bricken means free inhib for them.
Yeah, stun doesn't land, but at this point, they don't really even need it to land. They just need to take more objectives. The Baron buff still has another 6th or so left on it, probably about 25 to 30 seconds remaining. So we'll see what they can do with that. It's going to be a little bit of time. Here's a big minion wave, though. They're going to get 1 turret for sure. Will they be able to get 2? That's the question.
Yeah, they really want to start cracking those inhibs down. They got the mid inhib. but
Stun
mid-
on one, taunt onto the same one. Antigone is the one getting completely focused. Douburrito actually takes out the Syndra for once they do get a kill. But what can they do? Apparently catch a BB Poppy out. TE goes in though, and he says, I'm going to even up the score. Takes it out. one for himself, one for the road. Let's
Yeah.
go, let's go.
Now,
Habibi
Bricken does not have the ulti yet. It is on a 5-second cooldown. He might look to E-Flash, although the enemy team says bye-bye. We don't want to mess with that Mega Gnar.
Yeah, they don't want to mess with the Azir either. The Shurima Shuffle's still up, and they know that. So if their Twitch was to get separated out, they could absolutely lose the fight from the get-go, because without him, they don't have enough damage.
Yeah, and that Azir can still be dealing a lot of damage. You know, there is not magic resistance on every member on the side of Team Baron. Only 3 members so far have it. That Twitch and that Kha'Zix are still very susceptible to that Azir damage, so they need to watch out.
Absolutely. With that in mind, it is a much, much closer game, I think, than we thought with that initial lead with these picks. It's been a slow bleed situation, but you've talked many times about how they can get back in. You know, you said they could stall this out, win a couple fights off good picks, good playing. They haven't managed to do so. Is it because of the fact that the Sejuani has just not been finding purchase, or just that Shade Hendricks is so far ahead that they can't risk fighting?
Yeah, I mean, how do you really deal with this Shen, right? If he just decides to split push, there's no real way to answer it, and he is so strong that it's extremely hard for them to kill him. Bricken is now actually starting to deal some damage, though. He's living through, you know, the duration of the Shen Spirit Refuge, and then he's able to get some of that, the Gnar W's down, the Hyper. So that's pretty important, because this damage that he's getting from that on that Shen is actually pretty noticeable. If you watch these fights, it's a lot of Bricken getting that early damage that's making Shade Hendricks get low.
And as the great warrior poet once said, get low, get low. You gotta get low before you get high. No, I'm not actually gonna say the actual lyrics. You guys all know it, but that's besides the point. What is the point right now? Could be damage. Almost finding kills. So close on that one, but Double still managed to get out. Same with Star Sail. They
Yeah,
should
that's an
count their
inhib, I
lucky
think.
stars. But it is inhib for sure. This is going to be inhib number 1. Inhib number 2 already down. Inhib number 3 next in their sights, but they might not even need to take it in order to force a fight, to force the game, because they have so much damage, so much engage power, and the Narbar just fell off. Zoro goes in, here comes an ultimate. Will they be able to fight it off? They do start to burn down the Braum, and they manage to get him. Will they get more, though? One person dead is not a fight won, and they have to get out for now. The Shen CC'd for a bit, but Shade Hendricks is too tanky. He slips through the gaps and ninjas his way out of the base.
Yeah, but we see there that this game isn't 100% solidified for Baron. They're looking for the Earth Drake here, and then after this, they're going to want to look at that Baron in the top side. And
Yeah,
it
Baron.
sucks right now because Elder is just stuck clearing when they could be getting an objective. They need to keep this mid lane shoved out. And it's unfortunate that they finally win a fight and they can't even capitalize on it. But right now, Zoro needs to stay in the top side for that Baron pressure. Oh, wait. What is this?
That's a 2-man Baron? They stopped
Attempt.
it, but...
A 2-man
Ah.
Baron attempt. Emphasis on attempt. That's the important word there.
This is interesting, to say the least.
We'll pretend like we didn't see that. It never happened. Never happened.
Never happens.
So teams getting towards Baron for the first time, setting up vision.
Second time. They already took Baron once.
Oh yes, yes. But for the first time with this Baron's life.
Yes,
This is
yes.
the new Baron, Baron Jr.
And Baron Jr. versus Baron Sr. Baron team is going to take good care of them regardless, right? This is a first-class Baron escort service to the Wilderness Refuge upon which Barons live, right?
I mean,
And
I
we're
feel like
talking-
when you say take care of them, it's like we're gonna take care of them, eh? And give them that little wink and a little nod.
Yes, that is the
They're
point.
gonna take care of that Baron.
Yes. The refuge in the gold sacks of the carries and in the whatever they actually use to store auras. I'm not really aware of what that is, but Ezreal has like
pockets.
15 of them, so it's more than pockets.
He might be wearing cargo pants. You don't know.
Cargo pants are the only way that he could carry so many, but now Zoro, what can he carry? He carries the weight of the shoulders of his teams because they're all standing on their heads, scratching them on the ground, trying to figure out what to do next. They have a big Shen to deal with, a bigger front line, and a big problem in front of them.
At this point, oh no.
Big stun, Star Sail's gone.
Yeah, that's very, very important because now it is just a free Baron. There is no way they can contest this. And Team Baron securing that pick thanks to Shade Pride with that QE on the Syndra means a free Baron going over, and that is very, very bad for them.
Yeah, bad indeed. I mean, there's nothing you can say but the fact that this game is slowly rolling to an inevitable conclusion. They have the Twitch, they have the
Shade
Shen,
Hendricks does have
they
a
have
flash.
damage. Flashing in is Shade Hendricks, Deburito, he was alive, now he's not. Where are they all going? They're evaporating into thin air. The poison is seeking out more and more monsters hungry for blood. Habibi Poppy goes forward. The turret is the one to stop them, but only temporarily. The inhibitor goes down. The minions are starting to stream into the base, and with the Baron empowerment, they should be able to finish off this game. The ultimate will be empowering and unleashing itself onto the face of the Janna. Star Sail drops, and Bricken, what can he do but watch his base fall? He can't manage to stop this off, and this, the diamond and up, is going to go to Team Baron. They take it after losing the early game in 37 minutes.
Yeah, great play from the side of Baron, really communicating well and working around as a team. You saw a few of the, the fights where it's like, why are they taking this fight? And then you see that they communicated that with the Shen, and then turned it around, and basically just won bot lane through that lead in the top lane. I mean, it was obviously a lot on Shade Hendricks with this Shen, coming up big, probably MVP of the game. I don't think anyone can dispute that. But his whole
Absolutely.
team was communicating with him, making it work, and it basically just meant that there was no openings, no cracks for Elder to wiggle through.
No, and in fact, they were not able to do anything else but flop and go down to Baron. Great playing from them and good win. But that will do it for the games for today, unfortunately. But if you're interested, we do have more games tomorrow. Rise of the Summoners continues at noon EST for the EU matches tomorrow. And if you want more information on Learning Fives, you want to get involved with the program, you want to participate, check us out, twitter.com/learning5s. It's a 5S at the end of it. Same with the twitch.tv, which you're obviously watching it on, so you know what that is. And our Discord, if you're interested in getting involved there, discord.gg/learning5s, but it's the whole word fives. That will do it for myself and from Meowing Cat. Thank you very much for joining us for this event that we have put on Rise of the Summoners. If you like it, please help us out, make some more, participate in the next one, and tune in for EU tomorrow.